Hey, what's going on, your Charisma team? Nathan Olson here from yourcharisma.com, helping you create your brand your way. On this channel, we do a lot of social media marketing help as well as Instagram tips. So if you have not already subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. Today, we're going to be talking about how to rank your videos on YouTube, how to rank a little bit higher, gain more views, more exposure, more subscribers, all of that. We're going to be actually explaining the YouTube algorithm, some key metrics you want to pay attention to in 2020, because as we know, the YouTube algorithm is always updating. So in this video, we're going to be going over the most up-to-date metrics you want to be focused on. So stay tuned.
Easy listening for the easy listeners.
All right, guys, welcome back. So in this video, we're going to be going over some key metrics on how to improve your channel for the YouTube algorithm in 2020. But before we start that, I want to give a little bit of a history on how the YouTube algorithm worked prior. So initially, when the YouTube algorithm was starting, it was all based off of view counts. The more views you had for your video, the higher your videos ranked. So, of course, as with most social platforms, popular content is always promoted this way. It worked the same way with Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and almost about every other social platform you can think of. So it's very common to see this type of algorithm strategy, but as YouTube saw and as other social platforms have seen, social users always take advantage of this with bots, fake views, and a ton of other different hacks that people can utilize in order to increase the amount of views without really increasing the overall video view duration or session duration of your actual users. So as we move forward, YouTube actually changed their algorithm to be more focused on view duration and video duration. So the longer your videos held someone on the platform, or even the more videos that people watched of your channel, the higher your channel ranked and the higher your videos actually ranked. But as it moved forward, that also wasn't a very key metric because people could leave YouTube videos on and walk away for hours at a time. So when that happens, you can't really serve ads to those people. So the ad dollars are actually a waste for YouTube in that sense. It had to be improved once again. And this is where it moved into more of a machine learning kind of Google search algorithm of video ranking algorithm. So it was a lot more focused on keywords. The amount of metrics utilized in order to rank videos really increased. It moved to session duration, view duration, channel minutes watched, overall subscriber growth over your lifetime and even on a monthly basis, community guideline violations and penalties. You know, there have been so many additions to the YouTube algorithm within that 2012, 2016, because they were really pushing to become a very strong search engine algorithm. And if you look at kind of the YouTube's growth over time, right around 2012, around 2016 is when YouTube became kind of the second most popular search algorithm or search platform for a lot of individuals because it wasn't so focused on text. It was actually a way for a huge portion of the population who are visual learners are now able to watch videos and visually learn in the best way that they can. So it was a lot more adaptable to people of that nature that have been long forgotten with basic blog and article text that sometimes doesn't do the best job. You know, you can fit way more context and way more imagination, creativity into a piece of video content as opposed to an article. So YouTube really strived to create a strong, well-rounded algorithm in order to kind of get everything started. But that pushes us into 2017 and onto 2020, where YouTube has become such a major player and it has so much influence that they really have to focus on some key metrics in order to preserve the safety of their community, to increase the overall amount of users onto the platform, and to just keep bad press off their back. Because when it comes to the size and influence that YouTube is as a social platform, there is always going to be backlash and bad press in society. So if there's any way for them to minimize it, they're going to do the best they can in order to minimize that. And as we move through this, I want you guys to focus on these metrics and even focus on the way YouTube deals with things, because as YouTube moves forward, seeing and understanding what they're saying can kind of lead you to understand what changes will come into the algorithm. So as we saw in 2012, the huge amount of automation and botting that took place really overtook view count, and that's why YouTube had to change. When it came to view duration and video minutes watched, a lot of people left their computer idle and it wasn't the best read of an attentive viewer. Therefore, YouTube had to change their algorithm once again. So think about it that way. Start to really understand what YouTube is pushing for and what they're trying to do, Because if you can understand that, then you understand their algorithm, their process, and what they're going to promote in the future and even currently. So let's dive in. Now, one of the most important metrics for your channel is going to be session starts. And what exactly is a session start? A session start is any time a user visits the platform via a video, a channel link, or any other method that you've shared your YouTube content with that has brought a viewer or a user onto the platform. The more session starts that your channel actually has, the higher you're gonna rank in YouTube's algorithm because you're promoting and you're bringing on a ton of users that are consuming content. Now, it's important that you guys understand when you guys are creating these session starts, you can share social links on your Instagram, on your Facebook groups, on your LinkedIn. It's all about bringing more people onto the platform. And that's how YouTube generates an income. That's how YouTube is able to serve ads to people, is by having people actually on the platform. So if your content, your channel, or even your personality just brings people onto the platform, you're gonna see a real uptick in the overall amount of rankings that you have, the higher rankings, and you're gonna see a real uptick in the overall amount of subscribers and engagement that you're receiving. Because people want to watch you. People are coming onto the platform because this is the place where they can actually see you perform, they can see your content, see the value you bring, and YouTube promotes those people. That's why we have YouTube influencers and YouTube creators, because YouTube understands the value that these individuals have. They're able, and they essentially amass the entire YouTube community. They bring them onto the platform. Without them, sure, there will be other individuals that rise to the top, but if that never happened, then there wouldn't really be any lead generation for YouTube aside from just random content that's placed on the platform. Now, as we talked about before, YouTube used to place a lot of importance on a view duration or a video session duration. And while that was important and it does show a key metric of maybe the amount of time that people watch your specific videos, it's really great for understanding maybe where a drop-off point is, where you should maybe introduce a new piece of information or understand why people left. But when it came to that, YouTube understood that people sometimes just leave their computer idle for hours at a time. I'm guilty of that. I'll go on to countless like chill beats or, slow beats while I'm in the office, and I'll leave it play for 8 hours. I'm never looking at the desktop. I'm never watching any of the ads. It's just playing on loop. And YouTube understands that. That's when you become an idle individual. YouTube knows when you're not watching it. That's why there's a lot of little pop-ups that say, hey, are you still watching this? Click OK to continue. Because YouTube wants to make sure that you're an active viewer on their platform. Because if you're active, if you're attentive, then that means you're gonna see the ad and you're gonna understand what it is. And that's how YouTube generates an income. While a video view session is important, and while it is a key metric, it's not as important as session duration. Because if one video for your channel pops off and it really brings in a large audience, but none of your other content really drives that traffic anywhere else, YouTube is gonna notice this and they're only gonna promote the one video. None of your other content is really going to attract more of an audience, and that's really gonna stagnate your growth. You will pop for a second because if one video does go viral, then the rest of your channel does see an overall increase in the amount of views and engagement. But it's really important that all of your videos have a decently high video view duration, and that all culminates to a session duration. Because if you can push an individual to watch one video, let's say for 5 minutes, and then they go on to your next video, which is another 5 minutes, that video view duration, while it is 100% for each video, that session duration is actually 10 minutes. So you get a higher session time, which means that if you have individuals on there for 2, 3, 4 hours at a time, YouTube is pulling in an immense amount of ad dollars from them. Your videos are monetized, so you're bringing in more revenue for yourself. So it's not so much as to creating a longer video in order to increase your video view duration. It's really about creating content that is seamless, that pushes into the next, that has content that brings people in but also holds them there. You really want to increase your session duration because it's all about creating a longer time on the platform, not just a high amount of video minutes watched. Although YouTube does reward individuals that have high channel minutes watched, they really generate the most income off channels that are monetized and that have individuals attentive and there. So even if a channel is not monetized but has a high amount of views, Another channel that has high session duration and is monetized is gonna rank higher because YouTube can make money off that individual. They know that although they don't have as many views, they keep individuals on the platform for a very long time, which means their content is probably quality, high value, and well informed. And YouTube is pushing more for that type of content, more for that type of channels, and more for those influencers. So it's really important that you guys create higher session durations. And really the best way to do that is to have intermittent, like little pop-ups. The attention span of individuals now is extremely short. So you constantly need to have little pop-ups, little things that fly across the screen. It's important to constantly make them curious, make them intrigued, make them wanting to watch the next couple seconds of your video. And then especially multiple videos on your channel, really utilizing those end caps where you can showcase 2 videos in a channel subscription, really showcasing videos that make sense to follow up the video they just watched. So for example, let's say you created a video on the best YouTube algorithm metrics that you want to focus on. Well, the next video that an individual may want to watch is some hacks that you can use in order to improve those metrics. So they understand what the metrics are they need to pay attention to. Now they're about to watch a video on how to improve those metrics, some best methods, best practices that they can use in order to increase those specific metrics. And those 2 videos together, although let's say, hey, one's 5 minutes and one's 10 minutes, the session duration is gonna be a total of 15, and that's really important as opposed to the 5-minute video duration or the 10-minute video duration. The 15 is higher, it means more ads are being served to that individual, and it means they're attentive. So really increase your session duration as opposed to your video view duration. Now, as we just talked about, it's all about quality content that is well informed and provides value. YouTube is at a size and at an influence of kind of epic proportion. There's really no other video platform that is at the same magnitude of YouTube. And with this size and magnitude comes a lot of backlash from mainstream society and the community. YouTube has been known as the great radicalizer of our time because its algorithm has been known to suggest inappropriate, radicalist, and even controversial content in their suggested video section. And it's all based off the user's or the viewer's behavior and kind of watch history. But promoting those videos and increasing the amount of suggested videos of that type have really created a huge amount of backlash onto YouTube, and a lot of individuals, especially in the mainstream, are really upset with the way YouTube is promoting these videos. And with that backlash is gonna come less views, less subscribers, less users on the entire YouTube platform. Because when people get a bad taste in their mouth for a social platform, they typically leave or reduce the amount of time that they spend on it, just because they're not as happy when they're using it, or they're not as happy as the brand or company that's benefiting from them using their service or their platform. What this means is that YouTube is actually promoting channels that have well-informed, positive, value-specific, and beneficial content. They've been making announcements that they're going to reduce the amount of ill-informed, inappropriate, controversial, radicalist content, meaning that if you promote any of this type of content, your channel's probably gonna get shut down. And to be honest, I'm not really sad for you. A lot of those types of content and a lot of that content really creates a lot of stress that's ill-advised and unneeded in society. So if you are creating that type of content, I don't have any suggestions to help you. But for those that are trying to maybe, let's say you're a conspiracy theory channel and you're just trying to promote some thought that you think is interesting, or maybe some stories that just don't add up. If you're creating this type of content, try to come from a very documentary, very informed and very informative section of the area. I know Alex Jones is a huge influencer and a huge conspiracy theorist. A lot of his YouTube videos and channels have actually been taken down, and that's because YouTube is thinking the same thing that we are. Although this is interesting, it creates too much negative backlash for it to be something for them to promote. And so if you're focused on this type of content, or you really want to put out this type of content, make sure to interview experts and really come from a very well-informed, well-researched area. It's important that you have strong references and strong data to back up the story and claims that you're making, because if you come with ill-informed or misinformed type of content, it's a high probability that YouTube is going to kind of just negate your content or take it off the channel or stop it from being monetized. Now, what does this mean for the algorithm? Although there's no way to really measure how inappropriate or ill-informed or unvaluable your content is on the YouTube platform, you kind of can just do an overall census for yourself. And what this really means is that YouTube is going to start pushing more positive, informed, value-specific content. Therefore, you should be promoting more positive content, more content that provides value to the community, whether it be your audience or YouTube in of itself. YouTube is fighting to create a safer community, just as Instagram is fighting to stop bullying and reduce the amount of mental stress that their platform causes. You know, there's been so much negative press about social media that these social media platforms are really trying to change their algorithms and change maybe the way people interact with their platforms and trying to make it safer for them to interact with their platforms. So noticing that, understanding what type of content you produce, and maybe making some changes to create more positive content, create safer content, create more value content. You know, that should be something that you guys are focused on and you should be promoting, because YouTube is going to start promoting more of these channels. Although it has not been explicitly stated anywhere, we'll probably see some more metrics that align to this. In the same way that we see copyright penalties, if your channel has a high number of copyright penalties, I can assure you that your content is not going to rank as high as someone that has none. Just because when it comes to these content penalties, you've been known to break the rules. Therefore, YouTube is not going to reward someone that's been known to be a rule breaker. They want people that are creators that are going to follow the rules and create unique, positive, and personal content, you know, in the sense that we're not just taking YouTube videos from other areas and reposting them on our channel. We're actually creating content ourselves and we're putting it out there on YouTube for people to view and enjoy, not to be reposted by other channels. So focus on creating more value-specific content and focus on creating unique content. All right, guys, this is the last tip coming at you. It's gonna be a session end penalty. Just as YouTube promotes session starts and channels that bring people onto the platform, it actually penalizes individuals that don't bring people onto the platform or push them off the platform. So if you have social links, if you have article links, if you have, you know, any types of resources in the description that really drive people off of YouTube, it's gonna negatively impact your channel. Although it may help to, you know, increase the overall brand awareness and maybe the dispersion of your audience from YouTube to other platforms, it is going to negatively affect your channel, so you should minimize it as much as possible. And what are some types of session end penalties? Well, linking to socials are going to be a session end penalty. Having the user close out the browser is going to be a session end penalty. Idle individuals or idle users will also be a session end penalty. Linking to websites and video descriptions. There's a lot of session end penalties, but those are going to be the major ones that I see a lot of individuals use on a daily basis. So let's just try to reduce the number of them that we use overall on our channel. Because although brand awareness is key, we really want to promote a large audience on YouTube before we start pushing them to other social platforms or our website or other products. So guys, that's going to wrap up this video. I hope you thoroughly enjoyed. Make sure to dive into your YouTube studio and really understand your channel metrics. These are going to be 5 important metrics for 2020 that you guys really want to focus on. If you can start finding out ways and maybe creating a strategy on how to increase these specific metrics, that's going to do your YouTube channel wonders. Now, probably next week, I'll drop the next video on some hacks and some strategies that you guys can utilize in order to increase these metrics. But for now, I want you guys to do a little bit of testing yourselves and we'll revisit it later. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, make sure to drop them in the comment section down below. I love talking to you guys and I love to answer all your questions. So stay tuned for the next video and enjoy your day.